Hey, what's up? This is Kevin. I'm here with Justin from Let's Get Girls. This guy is one of the best in a social circle game, pickup. He's from Toronto, and he's gonna give you guys a lot of insight about that. So one thing that I wanted to ask you is how did you start your social circle game back in the day in Toronto?
Cool. So it's funny because we're right now here in Prague. Sorry, I just said Prague, Budapest. We're in Budapest, Hungary. And I was walking on the street the other day, and Kevin actually just came up to me. This is how we met, like formally met. We talked on Instagram, and he's like, "Isn't that Justin?" Right? Because I guess we were following a lot of my content online and stuff. And it's funny because now we're here. I'm actually going back to Toronto in about 10 days. And every time I'm coming in or out of my city, I have like a welcome home party or a going away party. It's just a great way to connect with people, see good friends, make a bit of money because I actually get paid to throw parties as well, and just all the good stuff. And how I actually got started was really interesting because I think I was like 17 years old. I was just starting college and I wanted to start going out, clubs, bars, etc., etc. So I figured, you know what, anyone who gets girls is someone who's very social. So to me, the whole game stuff was always about making friends and like building connections, right? So it wasn't just about chasing chicks. You know, when you're starting college, that's part of it, being a young guy, getting some girls and that kind of thing. But for me, it was more about always about making friends and networking, connecting with people. You know, the people you know is your network's your net worth, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's cool because like when I go back to Toronto in 10 days, my best friend is like his family's like a millionaire family, runs a bunch of fucking business and shit. He's fucking 22, just bought $1 million house, and he's a fucking pilot and shit. And he's like, hey man, why don't you move in with me? You know what I'm saying? And not everyone has friends like that who can just be like, hey man, move into my fucking mansion, stay in my guest room, right? Or like, I come back, one of my friends who's a Bitcoin millionaire wants to hang out with me a bit and help me with that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, I look back to about 5 years ago when I started with the social circle stuff. I never thought we'd be friends with like people like this. It's so crazy. But really how it started is I wanted to get more involved in the nightlife. I figured it'd be cool to start going clubbing and that kind of thing. I think everyone in their late teens, early 20s, they want to get really involved in going out, nightlife, clubbing and stuff. So I actually ended up as a promoter for a really shitty club. But how I actually got involved with that was I had no money. I was broke as fuck, living in my parents' house, no job. So I actually got a job, a really good job. Like, I wasn't qualified for it, but I talked my way into it. But it was miserable, soul-sucking, like a well-paying government job. I ended up quitting that job because I was like, you know what? I'm not happy here, right? And I ditched that job for like a minimum wage, like long-hour call center job where I was calling up people trying to sell them death insurance. But the cool thing about the job was I could make friends. All the other people there were young. It was downtown in the core of the city, and I finished at like 9 or 10 p.m. So after work, I could go out to the clubs. And even though I wasn't legal to get in the club, I could actually hang out around the street, hit on the girls who are a bit older than me, who are inside the clubs, who are out for a smoke. You know what I'm saying? I actually found a few clubs that were like, that I could get into, even though I was underage. And so I actually went to one of those events, talked to one of the guys setting up. Like, I was the first one at the club. I'm all enthusiastic. I'm like, hey man, you're the one setting up the club. This must be such a cool job. And he's like, hey bro, go in for free. You're the first one here. Okay, go for it. Right? And then I show up the next week. Right? Same thing. I'm there before anyone else. And he saw that I brought a bunch of friends. Right? I brought like a bunch of fucking hot girls that I met from my social circles, like just people I knew, just a bunch of college buddies and that kind of thing. Right? Just anyone I knew, I was like, hey, come to the club with me. And the thing is, I wasn't just bringing people for any reason other than the fact that I had social anxiety. Yeah. And like, I just didn't want to go to a club alone. Right? And he saw that and he's like, holy shit, this guy's bringing a lot of people. Now, for anyone who knows anything about the nightlife, promoters want you to bring people. You're a cash cow if you bring people to the club. So I would constantly bring people to the club, and the dude would let me in for free. It was a fucking win-win situation. But then it got to the point where he would let my friends in for free, or I would be like, hey, yeah, this is my friend, let them in for free. It was cool. And then it got to the point where people would show up, just say, hey, I'm with Justin, and they get let into this like pretty good club for free. They don't have to pay like $20 at the door. Pretty fucking awesome, right? For me, I didn't give a fuck. I got access to dope club, tons of friends getting for free, and I didn't have to, I was broke, so I didn't have to pay for the entrance and stuff. Now it got to a point where I was like, okay, this is fun, you know, meeting girls every night, hanging out, expanding my social circle, because obviously, you know, go to the club, you meet new people. It's really cool. And that was all fine and dandy, but what actually happened, how I actually became a club promoter, was the guy that I met, the promoter, was like, hey, you're gonna work for me, otherwise we're done with this like kind of relationship we have, we're done. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out, okay. I didn't want to, because I was like, you know what, I like doing it, I like going to the club, bringing people, having fun, partying, but if I was forced to do that as a job, I don't think I would enjoy it. Right? Because personally, myself, like, the only thing I've ever been successful at, career-wise, is entrepreneurship. Like, I've never been able to hold down a fucking job. I end up butting heads with people. It doesn't work, right? But it ended up being such an amazing experience. My first night, I was 18 years old, and I remember making like $600 my first night, and I was like, holy fucking shit. That was like, at the time, it was more money than I knew what to do with.
That's nice.
Right? And like, I think for that weekend, I made like over $1,000, like $1,200. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I went from like broke as shit, just having stacks of cash. And on top of that, just meeting a fuck ton of girls, meeting way more people, higher value people. So I just kept doing that. Like I just kept going to clubs every week, making a bit of money every week, meeting more girls, meeting more cool guys, expanding my social circle to the point where I was just meeting higher value people over and over, right? And then it got to the point where I actually was going to move to Australia for, I expected it to be like 8 months. It was a lot less. But my friends and I got kicked out of the club I was hosting at for 2 years. I ended up hosting at a decent club for about 2 years. We got kicked out because we were having an orgy in the bathroom. So it was me and two of my best friends fucking 2 girls in the bathroom at the club. You know, kind of inappropriate, and it's really funny because the week before, my friend Dave, he was he was like hooking up with the girl in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? And then he got caught, he got kicked out. Anyway, he got back in the club that night, and when the security opened the door, me and my buddy Nick were hiding behind the door with one of the girls, and the security just sees a girl giving Dave a blowjob, and Dave's wearing like cat ears, and they look at Dave and they're like, bathroom or kitchen guy, because he got kicked out of the kitchen. They're like, it's the fucking kitchen guy, right? Because it's just really funny. Anyway, whole point is we got kicked out of that, and you know, I feel like one door closes, another one opens. So I was like, fuck this club. Like we've been hanging out a lot higher end venues. So I just hit up a promoter I knew for a club I currently host at, the #1 rated super club in Canada. And I was like, hey man, I'm leaving Australia soon, but I have a friend who would be a great promoter for you. So I linked up my buddy with him. He became a promoter. He became like the top promoter at the club overnight, right? Using a lot of the game strategies and stuff. He'd bring girls from Tinder on his guest list and make a fuck ton of money. Bring girls from Tinder to the club.
That's crazy.
Because he was just really good on Tinder. He's an attractive guy on Tinder. And when I came back from Australia, I ended up hosting at that club, and I ended up fucking killing it. Okay, so it's gotten to the point where like, you know, I rock up to the club in a one night, make like $800 and have a threesome. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty fucking sick. And yeah, man, it just got to a point where we're having better parties, meeting cooler people. Like I've been traveling Europe with my good friend Adrian G, YouTuber, has like at the time of making this video 1.3 million subscribers on YouTube, right? I was just talking to my mentor today, Joseph Rodriguez, another YouTuber, teaches business on YouTube and book reviews and stuff. He's like 50,000 subscribers, but he's like friends with billionaires and shit, right? And he's like inviting me to hang out in LA and stuff. Or like another good friend of mine who just had a baby. He runs the biggest vaping company in Canada, right? And it's just like the people you fucking meet from actually being involved with constantly going out and living that kind of lifestyle are just, here's the thing, you'll meet all kinds of people. You'll meet fucking druggies, crackheads, alcoholics. You'll meet tons of like hot girls. You meet people like just people who casually go out who just like came out of breakup and they're trying to get back out there. It's up to you who you want to fucking stick to and be friends with. You know what I'm saying? You really do get to shape your own destiny. But from just going out constantly, you meet people. Like we're actually out here filming in this restaurant because you have a friend, right? A nice lady friend who hooked it up. He was like, yeah, you guys can come in our restaurant, film, fuck around, you guys want drinks, right? And it's like, it's just social circle game. It's just meeting people and utilizing your connections. Because, I mean, if you think about it, right? It's like, I'm not a millionaire. I have many friends who are very wealthy, right? What could I offer to these friends that they don't have? It's like money. No, they don't give a fuck. They have money, right? Connections. No, they don't give a fuck. They already have connections.
Yeah.
But you know what I am pretty good at? Chasing chicks, being positive, having a good time, and being a good friend, right?
Yeah.
Those are 4 things I'm really fucking good at.
Yeah.
Okay? So I can share that with these friends, and then they want to be my friend. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we build real, like, I'm not just saying I'm a fucking gold digger. Like, I have friends who are also not that successful. Like, I'm still friends with my my friends from fucking high school. You know what I'm saying? Who, like, they're just working, like, some of them are just, like, still working, like, minimum wage jobs and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm still friends with a lot of people who are, like, considered nerds and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it really comes down to just having real friendships and being the person you want to be, and then sharing that with other people. And now if you can create win-win friendships where it's like, you know, someone has something you don't, and you can learn to get what they got, and you have something that they don't have, and they can learn from you, and you guys can learn from each other and create a win-win friendship, that's fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Make
that's
sense?
awesome, man. That's awesome. So yeah, I believe it's the same things. Collecting people together and giving value, and from that you can grow. Because yeah, the amazing thing is when you can surround yourself with positive people. That's where you can improve yourself, when you surround yourself with this type of people. So you were talking about before about your body, right? That brought girls in the club thanks to Tinder. And I really believe that social network are a big thing about
social media. Yeah.
social media are a big things about social network. And how do you use your social media like Snapchat, Instagram to help you with your network and stuff?
Yeah, so it's funny because, as I mentioned, I was in Australia, and when I was in Australia, I would constantly be like posting naked girls on my Snapchat, and I had that Snapchat for years. So I had tons of friends, tons of girls, connections, networks through that social media platform, Snapchat, right? And I came back to Toronto, and you know, I was just like always throwing parties, and like the parties get a little bit crazy here and there, you know what I'm saying? So there's naked girls, there's fucking boobs out and shit, you know what I mean? And I actually had a video of my best friend Nick, who's a stripper, fucking a girl on my Snapchat story. And I got banned from Snapchat. Now, I had a fucking mental breakdown. And it sounds like, oh, first world problem, like, holy shit. But you know what, here's the thing. A lot of my business with social circle club promoting and throwing parties, because I literally get paid to throw parties, or a lot of the girls I knew, a lot of the friends I had, I only had them on Snapchat. I didn't have them on any other social media platform. Like, I had friends from all over the world only on my Snapchat.
That's good.
No, but it's not good because my Snapchat got banned. My Snapchat got permanently disabled. So the friends, the networks I made from all over the world who were just on Snapchat. Right? I had friends like in Australia, like that I made in Australia, who were from like all over the world, Europe, South America, etc. And gone, disappeared. I had no way to contact them, right? Because it's not like you can remember every single person's name, right? If they remember, they might remember you, but you're not gonna remember all of them when you're meeting a lot of people, right? Disappeared. And I actually noticed business took a hit. I started making less money. I was like, what the fuck? And even getting less girls because I didn't have those people readily available. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I started building up Instagram a bit, Snapchat again. YouTube's actually blown up this year, so I can actually use YouTube for networking with a lot of high-end guys. Like, 2 or 3 of my mentors I've actually met through YouTube, funny enough. I've met just like my assistants, a lot of my best friends I've actually met through YouTube. So just putting yourself out there, social media, so important. So like, as mentioned, like, yeah, going to the club every day is cool. Like, being out every single fucking day, being in an environment where you can socialize and be forced to meet people is 100% essential. Because like, 5 days of the week, maybe you won't really meet anyone influential, but the 1 day of the week where you do, it might even happen once a month. But, you know, it just takes one person, one new network, meeting someone to actually change your life. You know what I'm saying? Just meeting one new fucking person can literally change your fucking life.
Yeah, because maybe that one person can have like the connection right for you, and from that you start getting more and more connection, till you get to the top.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
actually. Yeah.
So I actually met my girlfriend from my buddy, like, who has a big vape company.
Yeah.
I went to Mexico with him, and when we came back from Mexico, I had a date, and he had a date, and we're like, cool, good luck on your date, bro. And he calls me up, and he's like, yo, dude, my date is kind of flaky. And I was like, man, my date's kind of flaky too. And he's like, dude, why don't we throw a party in my condo? It's in a great location, right, in the richest neighborhood in the city. And so, like, everyone's going to want to come there. But it was Christmas Eve, snowing outside. So we're like, okay, well, we'll see if we can, like, round up some girls. And, you know, we can invite our dates. If they flake, who cares? We got a bunch of girls in a party, right? So I didn't want to. I was like, yeah, no, like, I'll think about it. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. But then I was thinking, the same principle of, like, just constantly putting yourself out there, constantly being out, like, constantly being in that social setting, right? And I agreed. Funny enough, my date flaked, right? But instead, I had a couple other girls come out. And my buddy actually invited some girls out that he met at my birthday party. Because my birthday party, I had, like, a whole club to myself. It was fucking sick. I wish I got some videos from it. But pretty much, like, whole club to myself, bottle service, tons of girls around. So my buddy met some girls at my birthday party that an old student, old boot camp student, brought to my birthday party. So I teach, like, dating and relationships and cold approach pickup. So an old student of mine brought these girls from Mexico, to my birthday party. You know, I didn't really talk to them much. My mentor buddy met them, brings them to our Christmas party, and they bring their friend, who's now my girlfriend. We've been dating for 8 months, traveling the world. I lived with her in Mexico and a bunch of countries in Europe. Pretty crazy. So really, like, the high quality results come from social circle. Because, you know, oftentimes you're not going to find, like, your dream girl from a cold approach or from Tinder. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're really not. Like, if you can, but, like, the thing about most hot girls is, like, they're social circle because they have so much competition going on. Like, they're getting approached all the time on the street. They're getting, like, thousands of matches on Tinder. But in social circle, to meet an actual cool fucking guy, you know, it's like, okay, so my girlfriend knows this fucking millionaire, and she's at his party, and then meets his cool fucking, like, YouTuber world traveling buddy, right? And then she's like, okay, cool. So this guy's a cool guy. She instantly knows, since I'm friends with him, I'm a cool guy. But also, I've got a cool lifestyle on my own, right? But if I cold approach her, she'd probably blow me out. Or if I match her on Tinder, probably not much of a chance. You know what I'm saying? Social circle narrows it down. And the thing is, most girls can really trust people in their social circle. Because, you know, it's people they trust into, like, their friends. You know what I'm saying? And usually friends have a good judgment for themselves.
That's awesome, actually. Because in the community you see a lot of guys that guys that believe that it's all about cold approach, people that believe that it's all about social circle. But what I believe is that it's both. I think that
It is both.
the better thing is bringing people together, and that's a thing that you're doing really good in Toronto. Like I saw some of your stories, some of your video in the rooftop in Toronto, and you were like throwing an amazing party. That was awesome, man.
It's funny, because, like, it's not just Toronto. It's any city I go to and spend enough time in. So, good example, like, if I spend a week in a city, I will spend that week just simply sightseeing and networking. Like, I won't be chasing chicks. I will purely just be networking with the highest value dudes in the city. One of my buddies used to say, game isn't even about the girls, it's about the guys. Because, like, here's the thing, getting girls, once you know what you're doing, isn't that hard. Right? But getting high quality girls can be a bit difficult. But even to go further than that, making friends with high value dudes can be difficult. So if you're just friends with high value dudes, you guys can just get chicks together. So you don't even have to worry about, like, chasing chicks. It's really about the friendship, being friends with a bunch of high value dudes who have similar goals as you, right? So I remember when I went to New York, I was hanging out with my buddy Ravi, who's a club promoter, photographer, and he has, like, a food blog. So we're rocking, like, we can get into, like, the best club, like One Oak in New York, in for free, bunch of girls at a table. And, like, I remember he took me out to fucking dinner on my last night there. And we walked into this restaurant, we had comped anything we want, just free food. Fucking unreal, right? and then he's staying in the Trump Tower. I walk in, because Donald Trump actually lives there. Even though he's the fucking president, when he's in New York, he spends time in the Trump Tower. And his wife was there, and I walk in, and there's all these, like, security guards with machine guns and shit. And it's, like, airport security. Like, I had to check my bag and everything. It was so fucked. And I'm there, and we have a sick view up in the Trump Tower. And it's like, you know, I spent my week meeting people like that guy, or like my buddy Tim Ray, who's another pickup coach, right? I just spent the week just fucking networking. what I'm saying? Or like here in Budapest, I was hanging out with my buddy Abby, who's like, he's really successful dude on his own. He has like a cool girlfriend. They have like threesomes and shit, and he just fucking travels the world full time pretty much, and makes money working for a cool company online. You know what I'm saying? Just like spending time with high value dudes is actually more valuable than just running around cold approaching girls all the time. But what you can do is you can cold approach women, get them on your social media, your Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. I actually teach this in my online course called Natural Transformations. By the way, if anyone's interested, the link's in the description of. I'm probably gonna put this on my channel as well.
Nice.
So and you can link it for wherever you use this video. And I actually teach this where like you cold approach a girl, and if she's not down, you get her on your social media, which you build up well. And because you're constantly building up a social circle, your social circle is also on your social media. So they'll see that. They'll see a bunch of girls commenting on your shit. They'll see a bunch of people liking your photos. They'll see you doing cool stuff. And a girl who's like kind of into you will all of a sudden be really into you because she's like, holy shit, who the fuck is this guy? Right? Like my buddy Adrian, his Instagram is like fucking booming at the point where like if he DMs a girl on Instagram, like they're going to meet up with him. Right? And like I've seen it myself, they're always really high quality girls because he just has so many, like he has like 70,000 followers on Instagram, right? A bunch of cool ass photos in different countries. And then his bio is like, yeah, just like traveling the world, business, etc. Right? And it's like, oh yeah, get my book, right? And you know, when girls see that, or guys, you know, anyone for networking, they're going to be into that.
Yeah.
Another buddy of mine actually became a club promoter at like all the best clubs in my city because he had an Instagram, right? And it was just like a Toronto club Instagram. But just from following people, following a lot of hot girls, and just DMing these clubs, they're like, yeah, why don't you come work with us? Because, you know, you create these win-win relationships with the nightclubs as well. So it goes outside of just networking with friends. You use it for business as well. Actually, people don't realize this, but most of like the high income earning people in society, it's just because they have really good social skills and they're really fucking good at networking. So they're actually able to solve people's problems and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you find someone who's very wealthy who has a business and you come up with a solution to their problems and they'll give you a cut of the revenue they receive. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty nice. So, Justin, how old are you?
22 years old.
Okay, 23 years old. And what are you doing is very inspiring, I think, because you are traveling because of your business. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, a lot of young guys, they still don't have the skills for building a business. And maybe they wish that some days they could do like the crazy things that you are doing, like traveling these different countries like this. What advice can you give to people that don't have like this type of mindset like you have?
So I'm in no way yet an expert on entrepreneurship, but I did study business management. Like I have a bachelor's degree in business management. I have run a business, kind of. I guess you could call it a business, but it's just like running around, getting drunk and like chasing chicks, and getting paid for it, which is cool, and throwing parties. But yeah, no, entrepreneurship, like it's a business. So I've had that since I was 19 for about 3 years. But I wouldn't say I'm an expert in it to the degree I am in dating, relationships, and cold approach and social circle type stuff.
You are on the way.
I'm in the way. But to start, I would say just start. Like find something you're passionate about, and then start. Like you also have to learn business though, because like get this right. So a lot of people don't know this. I have over 50 million views on YouTube. I used to do pranks and entertainment with my buddy Keyfork TV, another very large YouTuber. He stopped making videos, so his channel kind of died out a bit. But like we would do video after video, and every week millions of views. To the point where like we would film the video and it was guaranteed to get millions of views. It's pretty fucking insane. Cool. And it was very clickbait, like clickbait shit. It was entertaining, and it was like pickup pranks and stuff. Yeah. And the thing is, Kevork made money off the ad revenue from Google. Okay, it's because YouTube is owned by Google. Google pays ad revenue if you get good views on a video. They don't anymore. Like over the past month, I got like 1.2 million views on YouTube. Back in the day, they'd pay me about $1,200 US. I think I made about 50 US dollars, which is pretty fucking bad from YouTube ad revenue. Okay, so it dried up. Now Kevork was just living off of just YouTube ad revenue. And I was like, bro, if you want to make this sustainable, you have to turn it into a business. So he was collecting all the money. I didn't even ask like him to split the revenue. It was on his channel, right? But I was like thinking long-term sustainability, where I was like, I'm gonna run a business off of this. Now, by not having back-end systems built up, you actually have to learn real business, like the boring shit. You actually have to learn how to, create a landing page and create funnels and get emails and build an email list and fucking, learn how to create websites, learn how to hire people, learn marketing, learn fucking real business. And this is like an issue I've been going through this year myself with my business, where it's like, I'm like, holy fuck, I'm pretty much retarded when it comes to business in comparison to like my game and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like at a point where it's like, game just becomes like chasing girls and throwing parties is a distraction to me at this point. Where I'm at a point where like I have to personally just like learn real business.
Yeah.
So the best way you can do it is read books. You know what I'm saying? There's a good book called .com Secrets. Can't remember who the author is, but it talks about this platform called ClickFunnels. You use ClickFunnels to create landing pages, create funnels, and then sell people on shit. It's kind of a way to sell people on pretty much to create a business. You want to be offering people value. So you can offer people value through solving their problems, right? For example, I teach pickup. I teach cold approach pickup, dating, social skills. So I find people's problems. I found out what the problems are with dating, relationships, and getting girls. And I'm like, okay, I can help you solve this problem. This is what it costs, right? If they can afford it, it's a complete win-win relationship. And then we actually become friends for life because I solved a fucking lifelong problem for them. Almost every single one of my students become part of my social circle, which is even cooler because usually the people who do come in the program are people who can afford it, which means usually they're like people who are high achievers, willing to invest in themselves. So oftentimes they're entrepreneurs, very high-end business people, just very successful people in their own, okay? And I actually end up learning as much from them as they do from me, which is great. I get to reaffirm what I'm teaching them on the program, and I create this like amazing network with them, right? So it's just a win-win relationship all around. I get paid so I can eat, right? Like there used to be times like 4 or 5 years ago where I would be in a restaurant and I would be trying to figure out what's the cheapest thing that has the most calories because I was so fucking broke and I just didn't know like how longer I could eat for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's great. So it's like, yes, help this guy solve his problems and I can fucking eat dinner.
Yeah.
Right? But it's pretty much like focus on solving people's problems. Find out what the market and like whatever you're doing, like I don't know, maybe you're doing photography, maybe you're doing pickup yourself, oversaturated market and very hard to get into. But like you can start doing like freelance stuff. Or like set up an account on Fiverr or Upwork and look at what people need to do online. Like look at what people like what online services like photo editing. There's a lot of things you can learn very quickly, like very, very quickly online. Like I taught myself video editing, photo editing, like tons of stuff. You can learn all this stuff online. So in terms of growing a business, you definitely want to learn the skills to offer the market. So like find out what people need. Like everyone's got needs and then you can charge money for it. It's pretty cool. And I've done that with parties. I've done that with dating and relationships and social circle and social skills and, getting girls. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, so that's awesome. Awesome tips that Justin has give you guys about business. And I also know that you are really deep about spirituality, self-improvement, and meditation. I tried meditation on myself, and it's really life-changing skills. I think that everyone should learn. What do you think about meditation?
Okay, so I've been on 2 Vipassana meditation retreats, which is a 10-day meditation course in a forest. So you're like pretty much, well, like for me, it was in a forest, but they have centers all over the world. I would highly recommend. You can actually apply online. So I'll probably link that in the description of this video as well. Go to dhamma.org, DHAMMA.org. They have centers all over the world. It's free. It's on a donation basis. And it's not a cult. It's like actually a really enlightening course where you sit down and meditate for about 10 hours a day for 10 days. No talking to people, no phones, no technology. And what's left it's just you. You know what I'm saying? You're just left alone with your thoughts. It's very difficult and a little bit traumatic, because any trauma you've lived in your life, you're gonna relive that. It's fucking tough. Yeah. And I think it's even said in the Bible, know thyself. Everyone should know who they fucking are, right? And so this is going back thousands of years, but the most successful people in society, the most happiest people also, know themselves, okay? So yeah, meditation, spirituality, I wouldn't say they're even the same thing. When I got into meditation myself, it was more about, it was more of like, it was very logical. It was like, okay, if I meditate, I will be able to calm my emotions more. I'll be able to be more in control. Great. It's another positive thing in my life, right? But when it comes to spirituality and understanding yourself, there's no definition of spirituality. I think everyone's definition changes and it's different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I used to think like spirituality was like some woo-woo shit, like ghosts and stuff, or I don't know. But now my definition of spirituality is just like an understanding of who you are in this world and being connected to other people, right? Now, whether that be in like some weird metaphysical standpoint or like it's very logical, like, like having a friendship or something, who's to say? There's like, no one really knows, no one really does know. But I definitely think it's something everyone should have, and it helps a lot when it comes to an overall lifestyle.
Yeah, I think that meditation can be something that can help you also achieving your goals. Mm-hmm. Because what I believe is that when you are clear inside and you let go for the blockers that are blocking you, it's actually more easy to get the things that you want, because actually you understand what you want, and you let go for the negative energies that are blocking you for getting the things. So I think that is a skill that every guy that wants to success in life should learn.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, like, one thing is like, if you don't have like a clear mind, it's very hard to focus on your goals, right? And I used to literally meditate every single day, and I actually don't meditate every day now. I should. It's bad. It's hard when you're traveling to stay in habits and stuff, but it's actually really important to meditate every single day. It calms anxiety. You won't be worrying about the future too much. You'll just be very in the moment. Like you can actually notice it. Like, let's say you have someone who's very anxious. Yeah. Have them meditate for like 10 to 20 minutes a day, or like a guided meditation on YouTube for 10 minutes. You'll notice the anxiety just goes down over time. Yeah. It's really, really powerful. On top of that, like, it helps you connect to your inner self a lot more. It definitely helps you like understand who you are on a more like internal level, and it helps you let go. Like if you get really deep into meditation, like I used to do this one called inner child meditation that helps you let go of inner traumas. It's fucking deep. Like I used to like lay down and cry because like it was a couple years ago when I was like at a rough time in my life. So like I used to literally get so into it that like I would fucking cry. I'd cry myself to sleep listening to it, but it would just like let go of all these traumas that I was holding back, and it helped me overcome these traumas, right? So meditations helped me actually overcome a lot of childhood traumas, a lot of negativity that I had in my life, and just let go of it so I can move forward. You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of benefit from actually just being attached to that spiritual side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So guys, I hope that you get some value from this interview with Justin. I know that you have a new book, right?
Yeah, so I have a book. It's specifically about men's dating. It's called Nut. But even more so than that, I have an online course called Natural Transformations that goes way deeper with all this stuff, and it's pretty life-changing stuff. Yeah.
So thanks Justin for the value. Nice talk. See you in the next video.